Hey everyone, welcome to the results video of the Shoestring mini contest. Now, the name already says it. In this round, every player had to build shoestrung rides. So what is a shoestrung ride? Basically, it's a ride where one or more cars of the track have been split off, which then go on a separate track, which then controls the speed using a chain lift. Now, I've made a tutorial about this, so if you've never heard about shoestringing, you should probably look it up and you will understand these rides more. Anyway, we had 16 completed entries, so I will now just go through all the entries. I will start with the one that got last place, and I'll finish with the winner of the round. Okay, in last place we have this entry from a newcomer, Oh Look a Clue. Now, he has made 2 shoestrung rides. You can see one here, which uses the monorail cars. It's quite a unique ride. But yeah, it doesn't have a track or anything, so it looks kind of weird here, I think. Also, this ride is actually quite funny. This is Halley's Comet Spin. It's a Virginia real train going around this globe here. So yeah, this sign here is pretty cool. You use the Goliath letters to make the word taiga. But yeah, I think one issue of this entry is that I think he just tried to cram too much into his plot, making it look a little bit messy. Also, this path here, I think it could have used some more decorations to it, maybe some blocks under it, just to make it look a little bit more, a little bit nicer. So yeah, I think it's very good to also see newcomers do shoestringing. So yeah, at least that's a good point. But definitely a lot could be improved in this entry, but not bad for a newcomer. Alright, this is the entry from Supranormal. He made this shoestrung Ferris wheel. Now, if you look underground, you can actually see the control track here. So here's the front car of the Ferris wheel train going around on its control track. And here's the rest of it above ground. I like the way this Ferris wheel looks. Maybe it should have gotten spokes like a normal Ferris wheel. I'm also not sure if the track should still be visible. So yeah, definitely this Ferris wheel itself could have probably been improved. But I do like the surroundings of it with the flowers and the water, the fountains, the bushes. That looks pretty nice. Now here's a control booth. Well, when you make a control booth, probably you shouldn't put a big text saying control booth on it. You will not see that on any real attractions. Other than that, of course, the plot is just filled with trees. Probably could have used some extra nice stuff to look at, like some buildings or maybe some extra shoestrung rides. Okay, here's the entry from Manticore 007. He made this recreation of the Polka Marina ride at the Efteling. I think it's a really good recreation of the ride. I like the way it looks, and he even kept the Vekoma corkscrew coaster track, because that's what the real ride also uses. And he even made this whale sculpture. I think that worked quite well. I also really like this fountain here in the middle. That looks really nice. But yeah, what a lot of people complain about that it looks a bit like a big sea of path. It's also something he had in the mini round where we had to make a park entrance. There it was also a lot of path. So probably it will look nicer if you put some extra buildings or other interesting stuff. But personally, I really like this recreation of the ride. Real nice job. Okay, here's the entry from Ovenwood. This is a really funny entry. He made a DJ here with a tongue made of, I think they're bumper boats, called saliva spinners. And he made these turntables here. Sadly, after opening, the ride will always break down. So yeah, it's usually a good idea to go to the cheat menu and do renew rides, which resets their reliability, and that will also prevent any breakdowns from happening. Now I think this is a really funny entry. This tongue was done in a really funny way, and the turntables also are really good. Sadly, yeah, the scenery around it, the buildings, they're all very blocky and kind of uninspired. So probably there a big improvement could have been made. Okay, here's the entry from Terror Hank. He made this really cool coaster. So it's like one of these shuttle loops from Arrow, but here the train reverses. So there's no track actually going upwards, but he used shoestring. You can see it now when I hide the baseline. So here's the other half of the train. Well, let's see if we can see it in action. But basically it's yeah, it just goes around here underground. You can still see it here a bit. Yeah, it's kind of difficult to follow because all the track here is invisible. But basically they both follow a track here, but this control track has a bit of a hill at the end, and that makes sure that the train reverses here. Again, if you don't know how shoestringing is done, look up the tutorial, or else a lot of what you see here will not make sense to you. Now, personally, I really like this coaster here. Also the fountain with the crocodiles going around here. I also really like that. This third ride, yeah, I'm not really sure what to think of it. It's a hardline twister, which rotates here in the middle and stops here for some reason. Yeah, I don't really know what to think of it. It probably, yeah, it probably could have been left out, or at least it probably would need some improvement to really look nice. Yeah, this entry only uses half of the land. It's also, I think, a bit of a controversial choice. But yeah, like I said, I really liked 2 of these rides, so yeah, that's pretty good. Alright, here's the entry from Enox, or Enox. I don't really know how to pronounce it. He actually made 3 shoestring rides. Here on the top you can see these mine carts going around. Now what I like about these cars is that they actually bank outwards in the turns, so that gives quite a cool effect in one of these kind of rides. Now here's a more standard swing ride going around this tower using suspended swinging cars. And here's a ride with Virginia real cars going around a sort of random looking track. Now, personally, I prefer when these go around in circles, or when they, yeah, go around in overlapping circles. I think it usually gives a nicer pattern for these kind of rides. So there's no track here, so I'm not really sure how they choose their path. But still, it's an innovative ride. For the scenery, yeah, I think the tempo looks pretty cool. But of course, the same kind of scenery is used here everywhere, so everything sort of blends in. But still, overall, I think this is a pretty good looking entry. Okay, here's the entry from Coaster Joff. He made this suspended swinging coaster here called Grain Grinder within this beautiful castle. So yeah, the shoestring is quite simple, just a control track underground with a circular above ground track. But yeah, I think it fits in this castle really nicely. I love how he made the tower here. Yeah, I think the ride fits here really well. It's nicely framed within the castle. And the castle itself, it looks beautiful. I love how he made these towers. And how every part of the castle looks different. So yeah, it's a really nice mixture of layers and walls of different types. He even made a little joke here. just turn around. He put one of these cool dudes. They're becoming kind of a meme on my server. But yeah, really nice entry. I think he would have scored better if he was able to fit another shoestring ride, maybe somewhere over here. Okay, here's the entry from AJ Perry. Again, one of these temples. So yeah, he made one of these Tower of Terror kind of rides. So you can see these people here in this ride called Drop Tower, and they move up and down several times. Now, personally, I think it would have looked even nicer if they shot up, if they shot upwards a few times. Now, when going upwards, most of the time they just crawl upwards. So yeah, I think that could have been improved a little bit, but I think it's already quite difficult to make a ride work like this anyway. Now here's also some other rides. Here we have a ride with a mine train going around the track here, and it travels forwards and backwards throughout some of the track. That's a pretty cool trick. But again, I think it's a little bit slow through much of the duration of the ride. I probably would have liked to see it go a little bit faster, at least for a longer portion of the ride. Now, and here's a different ride made with a flying coaster. It's quite a unique ride, but I like the way it looks and how it's framed here. So yeah, I think this was a pretty nice entry. Good job. Alright, here's the entry from Phoenix Wing, now known as Fiend. Now, this layout may not look like much, but yes, he actually made a triple launch coaster, where the coaster also gets launched backwards. Now here you can see the control track. It looks quite complicated. So yeah, I'm not gonna bother explaining it in this video, because I don't really know how it works either. But yeah, all these entries can be downloaded from my Discord server. So if you want to take a look at this, yeah, you can do so yourself. Or you can ask Phoenix Wing for an explanation, of course. But yeah, the backwards launch is actually done with a downward sloping track. It's pretty cool. Anyway, yeah, with this part hidden now, I think the station building looks pretty nice. It's a bit rectangular, maybe, but it's a nice mixture of different wall types and roofs, fences, etc. Also some nice flowers here. I think it works well with the autumn theme. Maybe I would have liked to see a little bit less sand here, maybe a little bit extra landscape. But overall, I think this is a pretty cool entry. Alright, here's the entry from Blonde Tuco, and yeah, he made 3 shoestring rides. There's this inverted impulse coaster, and it actually has a holding brake here on this spike. So yeah, that's I think that's pretty impressive. I believe he actually used one of these holding brakes for a drop from the vertical drop coaster somewhere on the control track. Now again, it's very complicated control tracks. I'm just gonna show a cutaway view so we can all see underground. So yeah, it's quite some complicated tracks here underground for all the different rides. So let's go back to the normal view. So yeah, here's the inverted impulse coaster that I just showed. There's also a teacups ride using the Virginia reel cars. I think he should have tried to make sure that these rides all get stats, because that makes it more likely for guests to actually ride it. Here we have Delirious. This one actually does get stats. It's one of these super looper rides. Again with a complicated control track underground. So yeah, I think these rides all look pretty good. I especially love the station of this inverted impulse coaster. It's actually a recreation of a real park. I forgot which one. But yeah, pretty cool entry from Blonde to Go once again. Okay, here we have the entry from Major Craving. I believe he's a newcomer on my server. And he made this beautiful pier here. I believe the park was called Peer Pressure. That's a nice pun. But yeah, these buildings here, they all look beautiful. Really nice layering, nice details here. Lots of flowers and stuff. Also like all the decorations here on the beach. A little playground here. Some sunbeds. Of course, there's also this swing ride here on the beach. I think it looks really nice, and also really believable with all these wooden support structures here. So yeah, this is a simple shoestring, and here there's the Grand Carousel. It's a little bit difficult to see. Let's use the cutaway view here. So yeah, it actually has a helicopter ride and horses going in opposite directions. But again, this ride doesn't have stats, so only very few people will ride it. So yeah, that's a shame. If your ride doesn't have stats, I believe only 10% of the people who enter the queue will actually ride it. So yeah, I think we would have seen lots more people on these rides if the ride actually got stats. But still, this was one of my favorite entries. It just looks really good. So great work. Okay, here's the entry from Zarathustra. Now he has some really clever shoestrings here. He made a carousel here, but at some point the cars go in reverse for part of the ride. Now he did that in a really clever way. This ride actually has two control tracks. So one has a horse riding up a chain lift, and then after it has gone up, it goes backwards again. And the second one just has brakes on its track, which makes sure that the coaster doesn't go too fast when going backwards. I think that's a really clever trick. Now, and he also made a drop tower here. So this one actually starts here at the top, and then it drops down into this mine. You can actually see Mr. Bones here and the remnant of a deadly accident. So that's pretty cool. You can see the train go around the control track here. So yeah, this I think this is a really clever shoestring. I might use this in the future in one of my parks. Alright, and here's a different ride using a B&M track, the 4-alarm fire. I believe it's a quadruple launch coaster. Also has a very complicated control track right here. Now, I'm not gonna explain how this works because I don't know. But yeah, again, just check out this ride for yourself if you want to learn how it works. Alright, here's the entry from Emil. He just crammed a ton of shoestring rides into his entry. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different shoestring rides. That's really impressive. So yeah, if we look underground, you can see lots of different tracks under here. So yeah, we have a Tower of Terror kind of ride here. This one's a lot faster than the one from AJ Perry, so that's why I like this one a little bit better. Yeah, here we have some swans going around on this track. I believe they also go upwards and downwards a little bit. Here's also a swing ride in the middle. Let me quickly disable the rain. A Ferris wheel, of course. I really like the support structure that he made for it. That looks really nice. And he also made a mine ride going around here. So yeah, there's lots of cool little rides here in this entry. So if you ever need inspiration for a custom flat ride, I think this will be a really good map to check out. So yeah, great work. Okay, here's the entry from Carp Runner. Now, I really like the way this map looks. It's a really nice cliffside. So yeah, I think he did the black tiling in the right spots, and I love how these rocks still poke out here. These buildings, they all look really good. I love this pizza shop here called Cliffside Calzone. That's a really cool name for it. And besides these beautiful buildings, there's of course also a shoestring ride. He actually made a bungee jump ride here. So you can see it drop down here. And it's actually part of a train with 4 vehicles. So the other 3 vehicles, they're on a different track. And they prevent this coaster from crashing down here. So yeah, all the shoestringing is hidden inside this cliff here. I don't think you can actually see it here now. We probably have to look from a different angle. But yeah, he didn't use all of the map, but the part that is there, I think it looks really cool. These trees here, they all look really good here on this side. There's some nice signs here as well, all beautifully decorated, again with trees, flowers. I think these blocks that he used here also work great for paths. So yeah, this is really... these buildings are really done right. And I love the way this bungee jump ride was done. He also made a tutorial for this ride. You should go look it up on YouTube. Alright, then there's just 2 entries remaining. So there's the entry from Mulpje and the entry from Shen Kitchen. I will show both of them, and after that I will reveal which one was the winner of this round. So here we have the entry from Mulpje. Well, the funny thing about this tower, this is the Eye of Sauron, or the Eye of Dirklink. He actually built this previously for the sign contest, but yeah, it wasn't really a sign, so he just kept this project and he reused it for this round. So I'm happy that all this work didn't go to waste in the sign contest. So Mulpje expanded the tower with this structure right next to it. Here's one shoestring ride. It's the slave track. So these are slaves pushing this ride above it around, called the slave mill. So yeah, I think this is a really clever design. I love the way this is executed. All these cogwheels make it really believable. So yeah, this is really really nicely done. Other than that, the land here just looks very beautiful. This entrance building, really nicely done. Some really good decorations here. I love the buildings here, and of course this tower. But I think it's a bit of a missed opportunity. I think probably somewhere in this tower another shoestring ride could have fitted. Maybe a Tower of Terror kind of ride, or maybe something that rotates around here. I don't know. I think there were more opportunities for extra shoestring rides, but still, the stuff that's here all looks amazing. So really great work. Alright, and here's the entry from Shen Kitchen. Shen Kitchen made a part of, a park that looks like, I think it looks like SeaWorld San Diego. It has this ride called Tidal Twister. It's one of those skyline attractions rides. So, first it travels back and forth a few times, and then later the trains are powered through the track. So the top half has airtime hill, and the lower half has inversion right under it. So I think we can now see it in action. And oh boy, this looks really good. I love the way this ride looks here. I also really like the colors that the trains have. Here we have a carousel called Seahorse. Seahorse ride. So this carousel is probably my favorite part of the entry. I love how the horses all travel upwards and downwards throughout this ride. It's really cleverly done. Must have taken quite a while to to space out all these horses onto different tracks. And the third shoestrung ride here is called Skinny Dip. So yeah, the coasters crawl downwards here until finally at some point I believe they stop. And then the coaster travels slowly upwards again. It's a very unique ride. And of course these buildings here, they all look really nice. I love this color scheme. This palette works quite well, I think. I love this color of blue. But overall I think the beach itself is a bit messy. Lots of stuff just spammed around here like these barrels. Alright, now it's time to announce the winner of this round. So, the winner of this round is... No, wait. Let's do another drum roll. I cannot get enough of these. The winner of this round is... Alright, one more. The winner of this round is... Milpje. So yeah, Milpje once again wins one of these contests. This tower looks awesome. And I think this shoestring, even though it's not the most advanced, I think it looks really good. And it's I think it works really well in this theme. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed watching all these entries. If you joined the round, I hope you enjoyed playing in it. Shoestringing is it's quite advanced technique, but you can do lots of cool stuff with it. Alright, I hope you enjoyed watching these entries, and I'll see you again in the next video. See you later!